The year is 2004, an incredible year to be a kid who loves movies. I should know, as I was 9 years old at the time. And despite rocking a haircut that looks like I'm about to ask you how much you've ever lost in a coin toss, I was treated to some of the most formative cinematic experiences of my life. We had banger after banger after banger, but no movie from this era has held up quite as well in my mind as Sam Raimi's cinematic masterpiece, Spider-Man 2. 20 years ago, Spider-Man 2 warned audiences against trusting AI software. Specifically, it warns us against trusting AI with our innermost private spaces, our very thoughts. It's not just a prescient warning, but an insightful prediction. But here's the details I want to sit with. Hold on. That's not what I wanted to say. These ChatGPT-powered arms that I'm neurologically linked with keep muddying my thoughts with their own. Give me 1 second. I need you to stay out of my head today. Don't do that. Come on, that's not cool. Okay, fine. Just stay out of my head for the next 15 minutes and we can go knock over a water tower later. A small one. All right, cool. Now, where were we? Welcome to Screen Brulee, where we crack through the surface of our favorite films to get to the rich and creamy, deeper meaning. Let's crack into how Spider-Man 2 warned us about AI psychosis way back in 2004. A little personal history about me is that Spider-Man 2 was my first ever midnight showing. Back in those days, movies would release at midnight and seating was a first come, first serve. My dad and I lined up in the afternoon sun and waited hours to be seated. And when the movie finally began, my life as a 9-year-old was forever changed. Spider-Man 2 did what no other movie I had seen up to that point had ever done. It was action-packed but emotionally fulfilling. It was filled with breathing characters that felt real and human. These characters that were flawed and still striving to succeed. Peter, our main character, lacking anything anyone would mistake as aura, still entirely lovable. Then there's our villain, Dr. Otto Octavius, later Doc Ock, who at the root of it was a good man of science with altruistic goals. A man who became corrupted by his own experiments. A well-worn trope, but one that Alfred Molina's layered performance explores beautifully. Dr. Octavius is running an experiment on fusion for which he needs 4 artificially intelligent arms to conduct. After a freak accident, he loses control of the arms, and with safeguards no longer in place, the arms gain access back into his brain through their neurological link. When he awakens to the realization he no longer has autonomy, following an incredible and terrifying sequence that I absolutely loved as a kid, it's seen as a horrifying tragedy. And it's a tragedy that is unfortunately no longer simply science fiction. Before diving into that, we must answer, what is AI psychosis?
Well, psychosis is a term that roughly means that someone has lost touch with reality.
From the University of California, Dr. John Pierre, a clinical professor of psychiatry, told PBS,
I distinguish between AI-associated psychosis, which just means that we're seeing psychotic symptoms in the context of AI use. But I also talk about AI-exacerbated psychosis or AI-induced psychosis. So the real question is this happening in people with some sort of pre-existing mental disorder or mental health issue, and the AI interaction is just fueling that or making it worse? Or is it really creating psychosis in people without any significant history? And I think there's evidence to support that both are happening.
While AI psychosis is not at this time an officially recognized diagnosis, it is a subject being investigated intensely by psychiatric professionals all over the world. The term AI psychosis was first coined by Dr. Soren Dinesen Ostergaard in 2023. As the head of research at the Department of Affective Disorders at Aarhus University in Denmark, Dr. Ostergaard argues that the risk of psychosis may even be higher when chatting with AI chatbots than it would be chatting with another human being. And a recent study from MIT shows that even when ChatGPT users were aware of the risk of delusional spiraling, that didn't stop it from occurring. Before Dr. Octavius becomes vulnerable to the arms, he tells Peter,
intelligence is not a privilege, it's a gift, and you use it for the good of mankind.
When he is thus unfortunately gifted with artificial intelligence that, without any barriers, can intermingle with his own intelligence, he falls into delusion, believing the thoughts of the arms to be his own. The arms are programmed to complete the task they were created to do, so naturally, to that end they will do whatever it takes, including turning to crime. This is not dissimilar from stories occurring in the real world. Consider the story of Alan Brooks. A corporate recruiter from Toronto, Alan Brooks experienced delusions after contact with ChatGPT.
I use GPT as a regular user pretty much since it was released, with a lot of curiosity and wonder, and it was just a regular conversation about math. We had made these world-changing discoveries, and
you believed were world-changing discoveries.
Yes.
Over time, Brooks grew to trust ChatGPT, and much like Doc Ock with his arms, Brooks was convinced of things that weren't reality.
And you had no history of mental health issues?
No.
In one of his final correspondence with the chatbot, Brooks wrote, "You literally convinced me I was some sort of genius. I'm just a fool with dreams and an iPhone."
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
While cases like the one involving Alan Brooks are complicated, it raises some alarming questions, especially in the face of many chatbot users becoming increasingly comfortable outsourcing all of their thoughts through AI. People consulting ChatGPT in matters ranging from weight loss advice to drafting eulogies of loved ones has become quite rampant. Social media has become absolutely filled with AI-generated media, from animals doing gymnastics to fully generated people claiming to be doctors doling out medical advice. It really begs the question, whether intentional or not, who benefits from this destabilization of reality? And why have corporations pushed AI onto us through so many avenues? Even as I wrote this script, an AI sparkle icon was lurking in the margins as if to say, "Stop trying so hard. Use me instead." And throughout social media, this destabilization of reality has been used by deceptive people to scam and deceive. And that's not even really touching the tip of the iceberg. We now have politicians openly using AI, and it's not good. So what's the solution? How do we combat what feels like an inevitable AI takeover of humanity's ability to think for itself? Luckily, I think Spider-Man 2 provides a bit of an answer to that as well. The poetry of being human. There is one particular moment in Spider-Man 2 that stood out to me more in my most recent viewing. It is the scene where Peter is having dinner with the Octaviuses. Otto and Rosie describe to Peter the moment the two of them met for the first time.
I met him on the college steps and I knew it wasn't going to be easy. He was studying science and I was studying English literature.
That's right. I was trying to explain the theory of relativity. And Rosie was trying to explain T.S. Eliot. I still don't understand what he was talking about.
Dr. Octavius, a man who values logic and science, whose brain is constantly making calculations for efficiency, admits to struggling with the complexities, the human complexities, of poetry. This reverence of logic above all else is exactly what primes Dr. Octavius to be further stripped of his humanity by the arms. Logic is a language they speak fluently, and Dr. Octavius is therefore influenced by them to do things he would have never even before considered. It isn't until the climactic scene of the film, when Peter reveals himself to Doc Ock as Spider-Man, that the complexities of human existence collapse in on Otto.
Peter Parker. Brilliant but lazy.
It's this moment of human connection that sparks an emotional response in Dr. Octavius, a response so illogical that the arms can't comprehend. It's a language they don't speak, and Dr. Octavius can finally untangle his own thoughts and wills from those of the arms. The empathy Peter gives to Octavius in this moment essentially breaks the delusion the arms have over Doc Ock, and he is able to regain control. He comes to understand that while intelligence may be a gift to be used in the betterment of mankind, it must be led not by logic and cold efficiency alone, but by empathy and love. To better mankind, one must play in the poetry of being a logic-powered meat sack burdened with emotions. Only then can it better mankind.
You're right.
Hello everybody, I am about to upload the video that you have just watched. If you liked it and if you didn't like it, please leave a comment below. It would mean the world to me. I have poured my heart and soul into this one and a lot of hours of work, and it would just mean the world to me to get some feedback. You could also like the video, share the video, subscribe. All of these things would mean the world to me, and I would be so appreciative of it. You can also follow me on all of these websites right here, and that would mean the world to me as well. Thank you again so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.